Aliya Timelink is a game that makes you feel tension, curiosity, and just the right amount of existential dread. But how does it achieve that? Does it have masterful storytelling, a compelling main character, a stunning soundtrack? Of course, but there's one main contributing factor to how it does this. It does this by doing something truly unique, something that no other game is able to make you feel, and it's that it makes you feel like you're being ghosted. Aliya Timelink is a game that follows Alia, a 24-year-old woman stranded in space. The game specifically mentions her age for some reason, probably because of Rule 34. Anyways, the player and Alia establish contact. Both are initially confused of how this is possible. Questions would arise in your head, like, how are we talking to someone in space? How is this possible? Humans are stupid. Humans are stuck on the ground like ooga booga. We're like land monkeys. We don't have space travel. But then, it's revealed that the player is actually contacting Alia, who is thousands of years in the future. And thus, the name of the game, Timelink. You've gotta admit, that kinda goes hard. The game resembles a visual novel, but with slight interactive elements. This game introduces something I like to call a time-based response system. What it does is basically it temporarily pauses the story. It makes the player wait for the next part. Yeah, it's like one of those shitty mobile games that have like built-in crafting time that make you wait for stuff to be crafted. At first, it sounds horrible. Like, I don't want to wait for the story for a game I paid real money for. What is this, like Clash of Clans? We're gonna have to pay gems to like speed up the loading time? In practice, for me at least, it really enhanced the immersion. It creates like a pretty good sense of realism and emotion during like some intense moments. It makes you feel like you're talking to a real person and really getting ghosted. It makes me sound like I have a fetish for getting ghosted. I don't, I swear. I stated this before, but music is probably one of the most important aspects of media. In Aliya Timelink, the music is quite good. It does a really good job in capturing the game's atmosphere. It's no mega banger, it's no knee slapper. You're not gonna like click your fingers, do like the swing to this, like hit the nay to this shit, but like it really fits the tone of the game. Which, you know, that's what the soundtrack is supposed to be. The tracks in the soundtrack create a sense of mystery and being lost, while also conveying a subtle feeling of hope. No spoilers, of course, but there's a track called Letter. When this track happens, let's just say Alia's time is no longer linking. That doesn't make much sense, I don't care. When Alia's time no longer linked, it really elevated the moment. It's such a good way. So they're good music. Music good, I like it. I like the music. I'll put it on in the background sometimes, and then accidentally that track would go on and I'd get PTSD flashbacks. That's how you know it's really good. Now for my gripes, I'm a nitpicky fucker, and because of that I'd have some gripes with the game. I can live with a few things, but there are a few things in this game that really crushes my balls. First thing would be that some choices do not matter. In the second playthrough or so, you can save a person who you couldn't before. You'd expect like a big difference, right? You'd expect, oh my god, no way, new character in game, like they're gonna interact, but not really. They don't really do anything, like nothing really changes, which on the one hand completely makes sense because you don't want to change the feel of the game too much with an introduction of a new character, but on the other hand it's kind of disappointing. Here's my other gripe. Before I was singing praises about the time-based reactions. I was glazing it like hell, but maybe I glazed it a bit too much because it does get old after a while. They do have a solution in the game that you unlock through like a second ending or so where you can speed up the time, but I am a lazy fuck. Even pressing one button is too lazy for me. Maybe introduce like a save system. If there can even be like an in-universe explanation. Maybe I'm just a lazy fuck. Who knows? One last problem. I think the game gives too much freedom to the player. Now this sounds bad at first. How can there be too much freedom? Freedom's good, America. But like, what I did on my playthrough is just playing through the game, and then after my first ending, I felt like I jumped directly to what felt like the last ending, and that didn't undervalue the ending. It just felt a bit off. These are small gripes, and best of all, dev is still actively updating the game for some reason. Not only did they port the game from like the native language of Chinese to English, which probably took a long time, they're still updating the game. Recently there's a winter update. So yeah, for a game that is $5, that's like $1 USD or some shit. For a game that price, it's definitely worth it. Let's score this game real quick. Bring up the roly polies. If one Mr. Beast burger was like your average Ubisoft slop, right? And if 5 XEVTs was like a top tier game like Nier Automata, then I would give this game a solid 4 bums out of ass.